What if an entire civilization left behind a message, but forgot how to read it? On Easter Island, or Rapa Nui, a handful of mysterious wooden tablets carry symbols known as Rongorongo. Only around 20 to 25 tablets or fragments are known to survive. Their symbols resemble plants, animals, people, and abstract shapes. Even stranger, the writing appears to follow a rare reverse boustrophodon pattern, changing direction from one line to the next. When European missionaries arrived, the islanders' knowledge of reading Rongorongo was already disappearing. Scholars have spent generations trying to decode it, but no inscription has been conclusively translated into a complete sentence. We still don't know exactly what these symbols record, who created the system, or how much of Rapa Nui's history disappeared with it. Perhaps one of the world's most mysterious writing systems is the voice of a civilization that can no longer speak for itself. According to an ancient historian, an army of 50,000 soldiers simply vanished into the desert. Around 525 BCE, Persian king Cambyses II conquered Egypt. Ancient Greek historian Herodotus later claimed that Cambyses sent a massive army westward, possibly toward the Siwa oasis and the oracle of Amun. Then, according to his account, a devastating sandstorm struck, burying the entire army beneath the desert. No confirmed battlefield, mass grave, or huge collection of Persian weapons has ever been found that definitively proves this story. Archaeological expeditions have discovered human remains and ancient objects in Egypt's western desert, but connecting them directly to Cambyses' lost army remains unproven. Was an entire army really swallowed by the Sahara? Or did Herodotus preserve a story that grew larger with every retelling? The desert still hasn't given us the final answer. Imagine finding a 600-year-old book written in a language nobody on Earth can understand. The Voynich Manuscript contains around 240 surviving pages filled with strange illustrations, unknown plants, astronomical diagrams, mysterious symbols, and bizarre scenes of women inside elaborate tubular structures. The parchment has been radiocarbon dated to the early 15th century, placing the manuscript firmly in medieval Europe. But its writing system remains one of history's greatest puzzles. Linguists, cryptographers, and computer scientists have all tried to decode it. Some believe it contains a real lost language or secret code. Others suspect it could be an elaborate hoax. Despite centuries of investigation, no interpretation has achieved broad scholarly acceptance. A medieval book exists. The pages are real, the ink is real, but the message remains locked away. A wealthy civilization once flourished in southern Spain. Then its story suddenly seems to disappear. Known from ancient Greek and Phoenician references, Tartessos flourished in parts of what is now southern Spain, particularly around the Guadalquivir and southwestern Iberian regions, between roughly the 1st millennium BCE and the 6th century BCE. The civilization became associated with rich mineral resources, including silver and other metals, and extensive Mediterranean trade. Archaeologists have uncovered important Tartessian settlements and artifacts, but the full picture remains incomplete. Their political structure, language, and ultimate fate are still debated. There is no single confirmed explanation for their decline. Some theories point to changing trade networks, environmental pressures, political upheaval, or the transformation of regional societies. Tartessos may not have simply vanished. It may have been absorbed into history so completely that we lost the name of what came next. One of archaeology's strangest objects is only about 16 centimeters wide, yet nobody can read it. Discovered in 1908 at the Minoan Palace of Phaistos on Crete, the Phaistos disc is a fired clay disc covered on both sides with symbols arranged in a spiral. Around 240 impressions make up the inscription, many created using repeated stamped signs. That detail makes the disc especially fascinating because it resembles an early form of movable or stamped writing. It is generally associated with the 2nd millennium BCE, although its exact date and purpose remain debated. Are the symbols a religious text, a calendar, a record, a message, or something else entirely? Numerous attempts have been made to decipher it, but none has gained universal acceptance. More than a century after its discovery, the disc is still speaking in a language we cannot hear. Somewhere beneath the sands of Arabia, people once searched for a legendary city said to have vanished without a trace. Arab traditions tell of Iram, or Iram of the Pillars, a place associated with the people of Ad in the Quran. Over time, legends of a wealthy lost settlement helped inspire the modern idea of Uber, sometimes called the Atlantis of the Sands. In the 1990s, satellite imagery and archaeological investigations around Shistar in Oman identified an ancient fortified site and evidence of a caravan route. Some popular accounts connected these remains with legendary Ubar. But archaeologists have cautioned that the evidence does not prove that Shistar was the enormous lost city described in later legend. The site appears to have been an important trading station, but the exact relationship between archaeology and the legendary Ubar remains debated. So did archaeologists find the lost city, or only the ruins of a much smaller settlement behind a much bigger legend? What if one of the oldest writing systems in the Americas is still waiting to be understood? The Olmec civilization, which flourished in parts of present-day Mexico from roughly 1500 to 400 BCE, left behind colossal stone heads, sculptures, and remarkable artifacts. In 2006, researchers announced the discovery of the Cascajal block, a stone slab carrying dozens of distinctive signs. Some scholars argued that these marks could represent one of the earliest known examples of writing in the Americas, potentially predating the better documented Maya script. But the interpretation remains controversial because there are very few comparable examples and no long corpus to decode. If the signs truly represent writing, they could contain names, rituals, political information, or pieces of a much larger forgotten language. The Olmec left us monuments that survived thousands of years, but the words behind those monuments may still be silent. Ancient Rome did not just inherit the power of Greece, it may also have inherited scattered and erased parts of its knowledge. The ancient city of Pergamon in modern-day Turkey became one of the great intellectual centers of the Hellenistic world. Its library is traditionally said to have held a vast collection of texts, with ancient sources and later estimates sometimes suggesting hundreds of thousands of volumes or scrolls, although the exact number is uncertain. Pergamon is also strongly associated with the widespread use of parchment, although the material itself was not invented there. Over time, political changes and the movement of texts across the Mediterranean transformed the city's intellectual world. Many of its original works have disappeared. We do not know exactly how many texts were lost or what they contained. The tragedy of Pergamon is not just that books vanished, it is that we may never know what questions those books had already answered. Thousands of years before the pyramids, people in Africa were already building boats. In 1987, archaeologists discovered an ancient wooden canoe near Dufuna in Nigeria's Yobe state. Radiocarbon dating placed the vessel at roughly 8,000 to 8,500 years old, making it one of the oldest known watercraft discovered in Africa. The discovery transformed our understanding of early African technology. These were people capable of shaping enormous pieces of wood into a functional vessel long before written history. But the canoe raises more questions than it answers. Where did its builders travel? Which rivers or lakes did they navigate? Did they fish, trade, or transport people across long distances? And how sophisticated were the communities that built it? The archaeological record is still incomplete. The canoe survived for thousands of years. The story of the people who built it did not. Before the first cities, before kings and before writing, humans changed the world with a few seeds and words that no one remembers. Around 12,000 years ago, human communities in the Fertile Crescent and other regions began moving toward agriculture and deliberately cultivating plants. This transformation eventually reshaped human society, creating new patterns of settlement, food production, and economic life. But there is a mystery hidden inside this revolution. The language of the first farmers is gone. They must have had words for seeds, seasons, soil, tools, animals, harvests, and techniques. They may have had rituals, songs, and knowledge passed from one generation to another. But because those languages were spoken thousands of years before writing became common, their earliest vocabulary was never recorded. Linguists can sometimes reconstruct fragments of ancient language families, but the exact words used by the first farmers remain unknowable. Human civilization may have begun with a vocabulary that disappeared before anyone thought to write it down.